It's foreskin from a Korean baby.
But the best one for me is Ellen DeGeneres, who is, by the way, a very nasty person.
I want to take you back to a time in my life where I tried to commit suicide a couple of times because it was so dark.
He would allegedly impregnate young women in the Bahamas, where he had a huge home, and then have them get abortions and harvest their stem cells of the fetuses to inject in himself as the founder of youth.
That's right. And then he offered me 2 actresses like they was playing cards. And I was like, what?
Gillian has no soul. It's because she's a dangerous human being. She will reoffend, and reoffend. These people never stop, ever.
Fox News alert: the Department of Justice just dropped last month's jailhouse interview with Epstein Madam Ghislaine Maxwell. And it's a doozy. First, she doesn't think Epstein killed himself.
So you think he did not die by suicide, given all the things we just talked about?
I do not believe he died by suicide. No.
I infiltrate the Illuminati, find out what the fuck they got going on, get the information, run back to y'all, tell y'all everything I know.
So it's made from human foreskin.
Why would a woman who spent 2 decades building a billion-dollar media empire suddenly pack her bags and flee to a remote farm in rural England? If you ask Ellen DeGeneres, she'll tell you it's about the political climate. But if you ask the streets of Hollywood, the answer is much more sinister. For months, whispers have been growing louder that the Queen of Kindness isn't just retiring, she's in exile. The timing is almost too perfect. Just as the biggest names in the industry are being linked to some of the most horrific accusations in history, Ellen has vanished from the American spotlight. From the unsealing of the Epstein files to the sudden implosion of P.Diddy's inner circle, the dominoes are falling, and some believe Ellen was the first to see the writing on the wall. But what does a comedian have to do with the world's most notorious traffickers? According to Katt Williams, the answer has been hidden in plain sight for years, and the truth is about to make everyone very uncomfortable.
They're losing their minds.
She sounded so sincere, didn't she?
Very
she
sincere.
Virtually choke on her words. But the best one for me is Ellen DeGeneres, who is, by the way, a very nasty person. I've had dealings with her in Australia.
Oh, bit of
could I tell you some
tea.
stories about that cow? But anyway, good riddance to her. But she was quite friendly with that P.Diddy bloke, wasn't she?
Well, this is why I say release the Diddy files.
Yeah.
Release
so
the Diddy files. Come on, Donald Trump. We want to know whose name.
So maybe she's hightailing out of there before all that is thrown at her as well. But what a bunch of hypocrites.
The move to the Cotswolds wasn't just a vacation, it was a permanent relocation. Ellen and her wife, Portia de Rossi, didn't just buy a summer home. They put their massive Montecito estate on the market and told friends they were never coming back. In the world of PR, this is called getting ahead of the story. On the surface, Ellen claimed she was kicked out of show business because she was mean, but many critics aren't buying that a few stories about a toxic workplace could take down a woman of her stature.
Ellen DeGeneres and her wife, Portia de Rossi, have reportedly fled the US, bound for the UK, after Donald Trump's landslide victory. Numerous publications are reporting the couple have left the United States permanently. There are also reports the couple have put their Montecito mansion on the market. Entertainment publication The Wrap has the exclusive story and said Ellen DeGeneres and wife Portia de Rossi have moved to rural England, put their Montecito estate on the market, and plan to never return to the United States, telling friends the election of Donald Trump was their primary motivation. Ellen DeGeneres has been a vocal Trump critic, so the move doesn't come as a surprise to most.
To understand why this is happening now, we have to look back at the man who predicted it all. When Katt Williams sat down for that now legendary interview at the start of 2026, he made a chilling promise: all lies will be exposed. If you look at the names Katt hinted at, Diddy, Epstein, Weinstein, you start to see a web of influence that Ellen has been a part of for 30 years. Katt hinted that there are people in the industry whose entire job is to source talent for the elites, and many are now wondering if Ellen's kind persona was the perfect camouflage for a much darker role.
This is why those one world people exist, because it's a very powerful concept to have and far too lucrative and beneficial to not. Everybody is a supplier. Epstein, Weinstein, like these guys knew what these extremists liked and provided it, and provided the way for you to to have $1 billion and not create a fantasy island type environment has not existed throughout history.
Right.
The most heartbreaking piece of this puzzle is the loss of Stephen Twitch Boss. As the executive producer and the soul of The Ellen Show, Twitch was closer to Ellen than almost anyone in the industry. When he ended his life in late 2022, the shockwaves were felt everywhere. He was a man who seemingly had everything: a beautiful family, a successful career, and a public image of pure joy. But in his final note, he allegedly mentioned that he could no longer be part of the dirty industry. He spoke about being ashamed for staying silent. What could a DJ on a talk show possibly have to stay silent about? Theorists believe that Twitch, in his role as a high-ranking producer, saw the underbelly of how the show operated. He saw who the guests were, who the private investors were, and perhaps he saw the lists. Some suggest that Twitch's conscience finally broke, and his departure was the final sign that the Ellen empire was built on a foundation that was about to crumble.
We're learning more tonight about the tragic side of Stephen Twitch Boss and the detailed steps he took to hide his plans. TMZ is reporting when Twitch left his home the day before he took an Uber to a motel about a mile away. At the motel, he switched his phone to airplane mode so no one could reach him. The motel manager says he checked in under his own name and never left his room. We also now know that Twitch left a suicide note. Details have not been made public, but TMZ reports the note alluded to challenges Twitch had faced in the past. Entertainer Tyler Perry knows firsthand what that is like.
I want to take you back to a time in my life where I tried to commit suicide a couple of times. Because it was so dark, I thought the only way to make this better, this pain go away, is to end my life. Had any of those attempts happened, I would have missed the best part of my life.
Curious how the stars keep their glow and their homes A-list ready? I've handpicked the top-rated skincare, home, and wellness essentials favored by Hollywood's elite in my official Amazon storefront. Click the link in my description to shop the CELEB CURIO collection today. For years, the hallmark of Ellen's show was the dancing. It was light, it was fun, and it made her the most relatable woman in America. But behind the scenes, the atmosphere was described as a culture of fear. When the allegations first surfaced in 2020, people were shocked. Producers were accused of unpleasant conduct, and the environment was called toxic. But looking back through the lens of current events, those allegations seem almost like a distraction. Was the mean Ellen narrative a way to push her out of the spotlight before the real accusations surfaced? Katt Williams often talks about how the industry uses character assassinations to hide actual crimes. If Ellen's reputation was already destroyed by mean stories, it would make it easier for her to slip away quietly when the heavier files, the Maxwell files, started to unseal. But the silence didn't last long, and the more people dug into her past, the more they found connections that simply shouldn't exist.
Can I tell you something? Yes, what? So I thought that you were going to scare me when I came in. I don't know why. So in my dressing room, you have the bathroom with the cameras. So I put towels all over the cameras. And I went in Kobe Bryant's dressing room because I was scared.
Well, you're right. I was trying to scare
Really?
you. Ruined it.
I'm sorry.
Oh, well, that's okay.
Okay.
I'll get you, my pretty. I'll get you.
If you think the Selena bathroom prank is just a story, you aren't looking at the facts, and she wasn't alone. Because years later, Nikki Tutorials came forward saying the show literally restricted which bathrooms they could use, while staff described a culture of fear built on constant surveillance. Why was the most private room always the centre of drama?
If you look at the history of Ghislaine Maxwell, she had a very specific way of operating. She wasn't a scary monster in the shadows, she was a proper lady. She was posh, she was friendly, and she used her status to make young victims feel safe. This is exactly why the comparison to Ellen is so terrifying to many. Ellen was the ultimate safe person. She was the woman you invited into your living room every day at 4 p.m. If the elites needed a way to normalize certain people or ideas, there was no better platform than the Ellen DeGeneres show. Reports have surfaced suggesting that Epstein had recruiters in Hollywood who were responsible for feeding the machine. While no direct legal link has been proven yet, the lore of the industry points towards a gatekeeper who looked just like Ellen, a woman who could make anyone feel like they had made it, only to hand them over to the wolves. As more names from the Maxwell Black Book are investigated, the circles around Ellen seem to be tightening.
Fox News alert, the Department of Justice just dropped last month's jailhouse interview with Epstein Madam Ghislaine Maxwell. And it's a doozy. First, she doesn't think Epstein killed himself.
So you think he did not die by suicide, given all the things we just talked about?
I do not believe he died by suicide. No.
And do you believe that, do you have any speculation or view of who killed him?
No, I don't.
And what about Epstein's infamous client list? Did he even have a list?
You never observed, or you never saw any sort of list or black book or a list of individuals who, linked to certain masseuses or
Absolutely
anything
no.
like that?
Absolutely no. There is no list. There is no. I'm not aware of any blackmail. I never heard that. I never saw it, and I never imagined it.
The list doesn't exist? So flight manifests don't exist? The surveillance tapes don't exist? The bank records don't exist? Well, what about Trump? The media spent the last couple months trying to smear him as Epstein's predator pal.
I don't recall ever seeing him in his house, for instance. I actually never saw the president in any type of massage setting. I never witnessed the president in any inappropriate setting in any way. The president was never inappropriate with anybody. In the times that I was with him, he was a gentleman in all respects.
And did you ever hear Mr. Epstein or anybody say that President Trump had done anything inappropriate with masseuses or with anybody in your world?
Absolutely never. In any context.
A good portion of the interview focused on Bill Clinton. Author Daniel Halper told Primetime Clinton was romantically involved with Maxwell. Would Ghislaine sell out her old flame? And she was asked about Bill and said he never did anything inappropriate and that Bill never went to Epstein's island.
Question. Which one do you prefer, lewd and lascivious conduct or procuring minors for prostitution? I suppose lewd and lascivious conduct. I would prefer lewd and lascivious conduct with a prostitute if possible. That exchange between Jeffrey Epstein and Ghislaine Maxwell on May 23rd, 2008 is part of some 18,000 emails from Epstein's personal Yahoo account obtained by Bloomberg News.
The emails, which suggest the inbox was most active between 2005 and 2008, include messages spanning 2002 to 2022. Epstein died in 2019, and emails received after that are largely spam or marketing offers. Overall, the emails offer a raw look into the disgraced financier and sex vendor's world.
While this inbox wasn't the only one he used, the newly uncovered emails do suggest how central Maxwell was to his life, something that contradicts her telling of events. She's characterized herself as a former girlfriend and property manager for Epstein, not someone with eyes into his vast influence machine or sex trafficking operation. She's currently serving a 20-year sentence for conspiring with Epstein to sexually abuse minors. Maxwell was central to curating Epstein's inner circle, according to these emails. In some emails, she's organizing visits with the likes of Sergey Brin and his then-girlfriend Ann Wojcicki.
I know for a fact she's getting special treatment.
Les Trent spoke to Sam Mangle, a prison consultant who has 3 clients at the same facility as Maxwell, the Bryan Federal Prison Camp in Texas.
Whether it's access to a laptop computer, which is unheard of, to visits where they lock down the camp and no one can leave their bunks while she's having visitors.
Allegations of other perks, according to the New York Times, include meals being delivered to her cell and being served bottled water while other inmates drink tap water, playing with service dogs, showering alone, and watching TV alone in staff-only areas. They even provided her with an umbrella to shade her from the hot Texas sun while she took her daily walks.
She's been given the freedom and liberties that the other inmates do not have.
Last July, Maxwell was moved from a medium security prison in Florida to the minimum security camp in Texas. This followed her meeting with Deputy Attorney General Todd Blanche. According to reports, fellow inmates at the facility were threatened with solitary confinement or transferred to a tougher penitentiary if they voiced complaints about Maxwell's perks.
They've been told from the day she got there, do not discuss her, do not put anything in writing, do not talk about her on the phone, do not make any trouble regarding Miss Maxwell, or we will move you to another location.
Her stories have changed so many times about what happens, when it happens, how it happens, with different versions, and each time she speaks there's a different version.
And that is from the documentary that's just aired in the United States. That's come just off the satellite. For more, we're joined by US broadcaster Cooper Lawrence to dissect it. What did you make of Ghislaine Maxwell?
It reminded me of nobody taught me how to curtsy and I didn't inhale. There was a lot of this evidence that came out during the trial that suddenly she's like, no, it's fake. I mean, during the trial, they showed her that photo and she said, yeah, that's me, that's my apartment, I recognize it. And, it was one of the things that indicted her. Now suddenly it's a fake photograph.
She had no remorse, no voice. Ghislaine has no soul. And you know yourself what I've been through trying to take her down. And the reason why I've had to go through that is because she's a dangerous human being. She will reoffend, and reoffend. These people never stop, ever.
So you were abused by both of them in your very first encounter?
Yeah, both of them. I was abused by Ghislaine and Epstein, and it broke my heart. I don't mean to sound sexist in any way, shape, or form. I don't hate men. I'm not a man hater, but I expected it from a man, but I didn't expect it from a woman. And so, I think that's what still hurts me the most to this day is that, as a mom, as a wife, as a sister, as a daughter, I couldn't imagine putting someone through what she put me through. And, I think that's what hurts me most.
One of the most disturbing aspects of this story is how much was said directly to the camera. There are clips from the show that at the time seemed like weird jokes, but now feel like admissions. Take the interview with Sandra Bullock, where they discussed a facial treatment involving an extraction from the skin of a young person far, far away. Ellen wasn't just listening, she was the one who corrected Sandra, clarifying that it was foreskin from a Korean baby. The audience laughed, but the science behind it, harvesting fibroblasts from infants for anti-aging, is a very real and very expensive practice for the ultra-elite. Then there's the Steve Harvey clip, where a guest squirted a similar cream onto his hand, and he reacted with genuine disgust when he realized what it was made of. Katt Williams has mentioned that the elite are obsessed with eternal youth, and they don't care where the ingredients come from. By joking about it on daytime TV, Ellen was normalizing a practice that most people would find stomach-turning. It's the ultimate hide-in-plain-sight tactic.
Okay, let's talk about this facial that you're obsessed with. How many, did you get the whole cast of Ocean's 8 to do
Not
this?
everybody.
Okay, good, smart ones.
Just those that I thought would appreciate it.
Okay, explain what it is.
Well, it's this way in which one forces through microneedling. It's like a little roller with these, some of you, I think many of you know it, and it pushes through the skin and ruptures the collagen and then boosts it. You look like a burn victim for a day, but then it pushes the
What are you pushing into the skin, Sandra? Carrie? What are you pushing into the skin?
Well, you push in whatever the facialist would like to insert into your pores.
But what is it?
It is an extraction from a piece of skin that came from a young person far, far away, and they somehow figured out how to extract.
It's foreskin from a Korean baby.
I'm gonna put a little on your hand.
I'll do that. Oprah did.
Yeah, Oprah did it. All right, so here, we're gonna rub it right in.
How come it's red?
I'll show you in a sec, Steve. So this is made from growth hormones of human.
Look, the wrinkles has just disappeared. I can't even ball my hand up.
So it's made from human foreskin.
I'm sorry, Steve.
You done sat up here and squirted somebody's private parts in my damn hair. What you laughing at?
I'm sorry.
This your last time on the show. This your last time. Not coming up in here.
Billionaire freakazoid. Yes. And part of his deal, he's in prison in jail up in Canada, waiting, charges all over the globe. But his deal was that he would allegedly impregnate young women in the Bahamas, where he had a huge home, and then have them get abortions and harvest their stem cells of the fetuses to inject in himself as the fountain of youth. And we get into this in that documentary. And was Epstein involved in that sort of activity? I don't know.
That's where, and again, we just have to look at what we have and know what we don't yet.
Yeah.
But it's a question.
Yeah, and
you
it's
look at the
a
context
legitimate
of the jerky
question.
stuff.
Yeah, and when you look at what other billionaire guys have done, were they in contact somehow? I mean, obviously, there are some people who are in the concentric circles of associates.
So, is Ellen DeGeneres a victim of a mean-spirited cancel culture, or is she a woman who played a dangerous game and is now running from the consequences? The timing of her departure, her connections to the most controversial figures in modern history, and the tragic fate of those closest to her all point toward a story that is much bigger than a toxic workplace. Katt Williams warned us that 2026 would be the year of exposure, and so far, he hasn't been wrong. The era of the untouchable celebrity is over. As the redacted lines in those files are slowly erased, we may find that the woman who told us to be kind was part of a system that was anything but. Whether she is in England for the quiet life or for legal protection, one thing is certain: the world is watching, and the truth has a funny way of finding its way across the ocean. What do you think is the real reason Ellen left? Is there more to the story, or are we just seeing the final act of a falling star? Let us know in the comments, and don't forget to stay tuned as we continue to connect the dots in the industry's darkest chapter yet.